Okay, this is a video about how to write the equation of a line. Before break, we wrote this notes down on page 108 of your math book, where the M is how it's growing or what's being added. The B is the number of tiles in figure 0 or where it starts. And then the X is the figure number and the Y is the total number of tiles. So I'm going to show you how to do this with one of your homework problems, problem 57, but that was on page 108 if you need to refresh or if your page 108 isn't updated. So this is, last week we did 5.1.7 and 5.1.8, so this is the wrap up of those lessons. So if I need to graph this line, that number 5 is my B. Remember, it's y equals mx plus b. So b is 5, and that's figure 0. So if figure 0 is here, remember the x is the figure number. So I would go up to the 5 for the number of tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put a dot. That just means figure 0 has 5 tiles in it. And then I go over to figure 1, and I'm going by 5s on this graph. I probably should have it labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go over to figure 1, and that's telling me it loses 2 tiles. So figure 1, I go over to figure 1 and down 2 because it loses 2, and I put a dot. And then if I have a couple of dots, I can make a straight line. So then I just use my straight edge. And if you only have one arm, you can do the best you can. One arm that's working right now, you can use the best you can. And then you always add arrows. You make your line nice and long. And that is how you do problem 57. On 57, I showed you lose 2 every tile. So I showed that with this thing called a growth triangle. And then 58 is another problem similar. It says to describe the tile pattern represented by the graph. So on this one, you just see, oh, figure 0 has 6 tiles because it starts at 6. And then as it goes over one figure, and you can go from 0 to 1, or you can go from 1 to 2, it lost 3 tiles. So it went down 1, 2, 3. So this particular problem, you would just say it starts with 6 tiles and it loses 3 tiles every time. And then there's another problem like these type here where they want you to make the table, the graph, and figure out the rule. And so this is, they give you the pattern. So you can see this is figure 1 has 3 tiles. So since figure 1 has 3 tiles, I know I have to go backwards to get figure 0. And how I did it was I looked at what was new. So here there's 2 more than there was on figure 1. So I checked that the next figure 3, had 2 more, and it does. So you can go backwards and shade in those same 2, and that helps you see that figure 0 has to only have 1 tile in it because you take 2 off. So you can kind of see my work for that. I graphed, it starts with 1 tile in figure 0, and then as it goes over a figure number, it added 2 tiles. Over, added 2, over, added 2, and that tells me my rule, because if you look at how to do it on page 108, it starts with 1 tile, and I can see that with my 0 here. With if I drew figure 0, I could draw it over here, or figure 0 on the graph, and then it's adding 2 every time. So that's my rule for problem 60.